Okay. Have you ever seen a boss who has the worker that he cannot really, we would say, like, he cannot really fire? And he has reached an instant where people be saying, like, he only want to be making posts about him, but he cannot really take him out of the house. So that's the situation between Paul and Trump. Today morning, I think it will be today morning, a few hours back, Trump tweeted about Paul cutting the interest rates. Like, he's actually, I'm gonna give you an example. Like, let's say this guy, he's the HR of the company or the accountant of the company, but he cannot fire this guy. So this is Trump and Paul. Fed is a central bank, because central banks are made in basics of finances. We should be saying central banks are made to not intervene within politics, not to be active in any way or affiliation to be either left or right. It doesn't matter whether the Democrat or Republican. Yeah, so Feds shouldn't be involved into politics. So it's something that's under a free will. Like, even the presidential or the White House has no influence to stop in the Fed. But however, behind those, it's coming out saying that Trump is trying to find his best way to take down the Feds. But here's my catch. Trump's tweet over Paul made over 750 billion US dollar to be out of stock just by a small tweet to be forcing Paul, influencing Paul into cutting rates. Because if you look at that, like today, the tariffs that we're looking at today in the United States are really hitting down on globally, beside the United States, because it's like hitting it down, like we would say, like today, and you're looking at a behavior where tariffs are in place, okay, and tariffs are really inflation. If you look at Paul's opinion when he was at few years back, he was asked about what do you think of the tariffs? The tariffs are gonna be really inflationary. Yeah, which is really true. It would really hike up things. Imports will be really expensive, and however, exports will be a big keeper for the global. So that's win for the global economy, but don't win for the United States. Yes, may say tariffs are good for the US economy, but at what extent? To you as a consumer, how does it really help you? Like, how do you really overcome it? Like, we would say, like, tariffs are good, but at the end of the day, it's you as a consumer who really takes down the tariffs. See, we are in an era where, I give you an example where someone, let's say, he has spent the last 20 years without exercising, and you're trying to go for a challenge over what we'll be calling like a challenge over 100 push-ups, okay? But you have not been really exercising your powers. You just to find out that most of your powers were almost taken out. Let's say you were a leader, or let's say a king of something. Let's say you were a king from a certain land, but coming back finding out that land got itself another king, and that's China and the US. If you look at the pressure that the White House is really taking over right now, they're having the pressure of the China making a call to look at it. Just look at the DXY today right now. How the DXY really reading out? The DXY is reading around 97 US dollar today. It's really down, and this has hit high metals. Like, you'll be looking at gold. Gold today is sitting over 3,400 something, as I'm speaking of now. BTC is also climbing up. Oil is up by 0.1%. But all in all, what I'm trying to explain to you is, like, we're in an era where, like, markets cannot decide. Investors are like looking left and right, instead of looking left and right, just assessing up what the hell are we on? What are we really doing on? What's really taking place? To understand this, we must understand why are we in such a situation. One, believe it or not, the White House is under pressure. See, if you're in a place where you find that people, where a leader is making a decision, taking it in and out, like, he brings in a tariff, he takes it out. He brings in this, he takes it out. These are like he's making markets under try and error. This really impacts investors. Like, let's in stock markets, we should be saying like in all states, it doesn't matter. Today, if you look at the tariffs today, if you look at the central banks, the global central bank, if you look at Trump's point of cutting interest rates, we look at the ECB, the European Central Bank today was cutting rates. So his point could be right, but the way he brings in his point to Paul, I mean, I wouldn't say it's the best professional way. No matter how bad he has been to the economy, or good or bad. I mean, yes, he could be doing something right, but at the same time, he's not really doing something. We could be influenced to be saying like, "Hey, you're doing something, you get it." So, to understand my point of view is like, I'm not saying that Trump is wrong, but the way he adjusted and how the way he plays the economy, I mean, it's really hurting, really disrupting the economy in the overall. If you ask me how this is happening, yes, he could be right. We need cuts for the U.S. economy, but we could be needing the cuts in the U.S. economy, but you're forgetting 2 or 3 things that are really needed. We are looking at we are forgetting what we'll be calling like the tariffs behind this, because the tariffs are going to be inflation. If Fed cuts down rates right now, and the way China is really not ready to respond, if you look at this, it's going to be highly influential into the U.S. economy. The U.S. economy will be highly inflated in simple terms. So if you look at how should I call it? If you look at the consumer index today, there are a lot of fears. People losing their jobs left and right and center. So the U.S. economy is really burning. Like, it's really slowing down. Like, slowing down. It's not burning, but it's slowing down. And people say burning or something, anything like it's okay, but when you say it's burning, yeah, I mean it's really in bad shape. So to understand this, we should be talking about also, how should I call it? You look at the BTC. BTC today has been doing okay. Yeah, it was up by 1%. Oil was up by 1%. However, the SP 500 fall down by almost, I'll be calling it 2%, since Trump posted that post saying talking about power. It's kind of a funny visual. That's how I can explain it, but I really had it at the same time. Because if you look at it, Trump wasn't just saying about things that we'll be calling things. Yes, he's a man who really loves his economy. He's a man who really loves his country. I mean, but there are moves that you have to think again before you make them. I mean, I'm not an advisor to Trump, but there are things that you look at, even Republicans that are looking at, they'll be like, this guy is killing us. I mean, people are asking themselves, did we really vote ourselves to be in a certain position? Well, that all depends. Because anyway, there's no change without pain, we'll call it. However, his moves are really hurting the market, and yeah, that's all we have up today.